We begin now at the top of the page on Daf Zayin Amud Beis in Maseches Brachos, Berachos Daf 7b. Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan said in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Miyom Shebara HaKadosh Baruch Hu Es Ha'olam, from the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, Lo Haya Adam Shekara HaKadosh Baruch Hu Adon. There was no person who called HaKadosh Baruch Hu master, Ad Shebo Avraham v'Karu Adon, until Avraham came along and called him master. Shenemar, like it says, Vayomar, and he said, Hashem, Bamo Eda Ki Iroshena. He used the Aleph Dalid Nun name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This means that he called him Adon. He was the first to call him Adon. Amar Rav says, Af Daniel lo nena ela b'shvil Avram. Even Daniel was not answered except for the merit of Avram. Shenemar, like it says, V'ato shma Elokeinu al tfilas avdecha ve'el tachenunav v'oer panecha al mikdashcha hashamim leman Hashem lemancha miboile. It should have said, for your sake, please answer me. Elo leman Avram shekaracha Adon. Rather, it's a reference to Avram Avinu who called you Adon, and Daniel was saying, please listen to me in the merit of Avraham. Two dots. V'yamar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Minayin shein meratzin lo la'adam b'shas kaiso. How do we know that a person, that we shouldn't try to appease a person at the moment of his anger? This is from the Gemara earlier as well. Shenemar, like it says, Panaye lechu v'hanichosi lach. Leave me and let me be until my anger passes. V'yomar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, and Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Miyom Shebar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Es Ha'olamo, from the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, Lo Haya Adam Shehoda LaHaKadosh Baruch Hu. There was no one who gave thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ad Shebasa Leah V'hodaso, until Leah came and gave him thanks. Shenemar, like it says, Hapam Oda Es Hashem. At this time I thank Hashem. This was when she gave birth to Yehuda. That is why she called him Yehuda. Now the Gemara moves on to the naming of Ruvain. Reuven, Amar Rebbe Lazar. What's the name Ruvain? Rebbe Lazar says, Amra Leah said, Re'uma bein b'ni leven chami. See the difference between my son and the son of my mother-in-law. Te'ilu ben chami, whereas by the son of my mother-in-law. Af agavdemi daite zavne lebechiruse. Even though he sold his firstborn rights, Esav, referring to Esav, he sold his firstborn rights willingly. Tichsiv vayimchor es bechor raso liYaakov. It says he sold his bechor to Yaakov. Chazu maksiv be. See what it says. Vayistom Esav es Yaakov. It says that Esav hated Yaakov. Uchsiv, and it says Vayomer, he said, Hachikor shmo Yaakov vayakaveni ze pamayim. He's called Yaakov because he tricked me 2 times. So Esav, who sold his Bechor willingly, was upset when the Bechor was taken away. V'ilu b'ni, but when it comes to my son, Afa gavda al korche shakle, Yosef lebechiruse, even though Yosef took away the Bechor of Ruvain against his will, lebechiruse minei, took away the Bechor from him against his will, Dechsiv, like it says, uvechalalo yitzui aviv nitna bechoraso lefnei Yosef. It says that when Ruvain sinned with the bed of his father, the Bechor was given over to the children of Yosef, afilu hachi. Nevertheless, lo aknebe, he was not jealous. Tichsiv, like it says, vayishma Ruvain heard, vayatzilehu miyadam, he saved Yosef. So Ruvain was even willing to save Yosef, even though the Bechor was taken from him and given to Yosef. The Gemara now continues at the 2 dots with Rus. My Rus. What is the name Rus? Amar Rabbi Yochanan shezachza v'yatza mimena David sherayuhu al HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'shiros v'tishbachos. The word Rus is a play off the word shiros, song. Who came out of Rus? David came out of Rus, and he sang to HaKadosh Baruch Hu songs and praises. Minalon deshma garam. And how do we know in general that the name of a person is a cause? The name of a person is related to the person's nature. Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says, the Amar Kras, the pasuk says, Lechu chazu mipulos Hashem asher sam shemos ba'aretz. Actually, we're darshaning it. It's actually shamos ba'aretz. Al tikri shamos ela shemos. Don't read this as shamos. Read it as shemos, as names. See that Hashem is the one who places the names. That the names are have relevance and are important. Two dots continues the Gemara of Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Another statement from Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Kasha tarbus ra besoch beiso shel adam yoser mimilchemes gog umagog. We can say that the fighting and infighting within the house of a person is greater and more difficult than the war of Gog umagog. Shenemar, like it says, Mizmor leDavid bevarcho mipnei Avshalom beno. It says that when David HaMelech ran away from his son Avshalom, that's infighting in the home. Uchsiv basrei Hashem ma rabu tzaroi rabim komim oloi. It says, my tsaros are abundant, they're many. Whereas by the war of Gog uMagog, Ksiv, it says, Lama ragshu goyim ulu umim yagurik v'ilu ma'arabu tzarei lo ksiv. When it talks about the Milchemes Gog uMagog, it never says anything about ma'arabu tzarei, that the tsaros are so great, indicating that the fighting between David HaMelech and his son Avshalom was even worse than that. The Gemara now says, analyzing this mizmor about David HaMelech fleeing from Avshalom at the two dots. Mizmor leDavid bevarcho mipnei Avshalom beno. David HaMelech says a mizmor, a song of apparently praise, when he ran away from Avshalom his son. So the Gemara asks, Mizmor leDavid? Kino leDavid mibayle. What is this song of praise? It should be a lamentation. It should be a kina. This is a bad thing. It's not a good thing. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Avishalom. Rabbi Shimon says, the son of Avishalom says, Mashal lemah hadavar domer. I'll give you a mashal, what this is comparable to. La'adam shiyatza lo shtarchov. It's like a person who has a debt that goes out against him. Kodem sheparo, before he pays off his debt, hayatzav, he's sad. La'achar sheparo, after he pays off his debt, sameach, he's happy. Afkain David, we can say the same thing by David. Kevon she'amar la'HaKadosh Baruch Hu hineni mekim alecha ra mi beisecha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told David already, I'm going to bring evil upon you from your house. That was the debt. Hayatzev, he was sad. Amar, he said, Shema Eved or Mamzer Hu de lo chayes alei. Who knows who this evil is going to be? Maybe it will be a servant, maybe it will be a Mamzer, someone who will have no mercy on me. Kevon dechaza de Avshalom, who when he saw that it was Avshalom, Samach, he was happy. Mishum hachi Amar Mizmor, and it was for that reason that he said Mizmor, a song, because there was something to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu for in this regard. V'yomer Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Mutor lihizgaros b'rishoyim ba'olam hazeh. It is permissible for a person to fight against the evil people in this world. Shenamar, like it says, Ozvei Torah yahalalu rasha, v'shomrei Torah yisgaru bam. Those who leave the Torah, they praise the wicked, but those who keep the Torah, they contend with them. Tanya nami hachi, we have a brisa like this as well. Rabbi Dustoi, Rabbi Mason Omer, Rabbi Dustoi, the son of Rabbi Mason, says, Mutter le'esgaros b'rishoyim ba'olam hazeh. It is permissible for a person to contend, to fight against rishoyim in this world. Shenemar, like it says, Ozvei Torah yahalalu rasha. Those who leave Torah will praise the rasha, v'gomer, etc. The pasuk here seems to indicate the opposite. This is a pasuk in Tehillim, and it seems to this is a pasuk this pasuk is in Mishlei. Excuse me. It says. So it seems to indicate the opposite. A person is not allowed to lihiskaros b'rishoyim. A person can't contend with rishoyim in this world. Emor lo, you tell him no. Misha libo nokfo omer kain. Only somebody whose heart is weakened says that. Ela al tischar b'merayim. What does that pasuk really mean? Lihiyos k'merayim. Al tekane be'osei avla lihiyos k'osei avla. That pasuk is simply saying, don't follow in their ways. Don't be like them. As the pasuk continues, it says that a person should only deal with yiras Hashem all the time. So the pasuk means to say that a person shouldn't be like them. But on the contrary, when it comes to dealing with them, a person should contest them and should go against them. The Gemara said, Ini, is that really true? What Rabbi Yitzchak says, if a person sees a rasha, if a person sees a wicked person, that the time seems to be favoring him, things are going his way, al tiskarabo. You should not start up with him. Shenemar, like it says, Yachilu derachav b'choles. His ways are at all times. The pasuk says, "Yachilu derachav b'choles maro mishpatecha minegdo kol tzorav yafiach b'hem." So a person shouldn't start up. The ways of Hakadosh Baruch Hu are that the person may be successful. V'lo, not only that, el shazocha b'din. This person is going to merit in din. He may win in the judgment. Shenemar, as the same pasuk says, "Maro mishpatecha minegdo." Your judgment will be lifted and exalted. V'lo, not only that, el sharoa b'tzarav. He may see the downfall of his enemies. Shenemar, as that same pasuk says, "Kol tzorav yafiach b'hem." So what's going on over here? Should the person start with the Rasha or should he not? So the Gemara says, "Lo kasha," it's not difficult. Ha b'mili didei, ha b'mili dishmaya. If he's dealing with his own matters, don't start with a person who time seems to be favoring him. But if it's dealing with something that has to do with Shamayim, has to do with the matters of heaven, certainly a person should contest. If you buy a Seima, you can give another answer as well. Hava haba mili deshmaya. Both can be talking about issues that have to do with issues of heaven. Velokash, it's not difficult. Haba Rasha shahasha misachek. It depends if the Rasha, if time is favoring him. Haba Rasha she'ena hasha misachek. Or if you're dealing with a Rasha where times are not favoring the person, then you may contest against him. V'buy a Seima, you can give another answer. Maybe in both cases we're talking about a Rasha where times are favoring him. Velokash, it's not difficult. Ha b'tzadik gamor, ha b'tzadik she'eno gamor. It depends if we're dealing with a tzaddik who is a complete tzaddik, or it depends if we're dealing with a tzaddik who is not a complete tzaddik. The Amar Rav Huna, because Rav Huna said, "My dichsiv." What does the pasuk mean when it says, "Lama tabit bogdim tachrish bevela Rasha"? So it says in the pasuk. It says in the pasuk that a person shouldn't lama tabit bogdim tachrosh bevela rasha tzadik mimenu. So it says tzadik mimenu. So what does this mean? V'chi rasha bolea tzadik. The language of the pasuk seems to be indicating that the rasha swallows the tzadik. V'haksiv, but it says Hashem lo yazvenu biyado. It says Hashem will not allow the rasha to defeat the tzadik. He will not leave him in his hands. Uchsiv, and it also says lo yeuna letzadik kol oven. Lo ye'una l'tzadik kol oven. No bad will happen to the tzaddik. So what's going on over here? Pasuk seems to be indicating on the one hand that the tzaddik is protected from the Rasha. Pasuk on the other hand seems to indicate that the tzaddik is not protected from the Rasha. So the Gemara answers, Ela tzaddik mimenu boleya. So rather, this is consistent with what we answered before. The pasuk says tzaddik mimenu. If he's more righteous than him, he may still be swallowed up by the Rasha. He's not a full tzaddik. It's just possible that a Rasha can defeat someone who's just more righteous than he is. However, tzaddik gamor eno boleya. If he's a complete tzaddik, he will not be able to swallow him. He will not be able to defeat him. Or we can answer simply shah misachekes lo shani. It is different when times are favoring the person. In situations where times are favoring the person, it is always possible for the Rasha to defeat the tzaddik. V'yomer Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan said further another statement of Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Kol hakovea makam letfilaso oivav noflim tachtav. Anybody who has a set place for his tefillah, his enemies fall beneath him. Shenemar, like it says, V'samti makam la'ami liYisrael unetativ v'shachin tachtav v'lo yirgaz od. So it says in the pasuk that I have a place for my nation Yisrael, and they will be shachin tachtav. Oiv, that's a reference to Oivav Noflim Tachtav. His enemies will be underneath him if he has a place for his tefillah. V'samti makom. If there's a place, his enemies will be underneath him. V'lo Yosifu b'nei avlo la'anoso kasher b'rishona. And no longer will the wicked people afflict him as they did originally. Rav Huna Ramiksiv. Rav Huna set this as a contradiction in Psukim. La'anoso. On the one hand, it says to afflict him, uchsiv lechaloso, and on the other hand, it says to finish him off, to completely destroy him. So he answered, bitchilo la'anoso, in the beginning to afflict him, ulevasof lechaloso, but in the end to completely finish him off. Rashi over here says, bitchila kishenivna habayis nivna al minas shelo lanos od oivim liyisrael. This means to say that when the Beis HaMikdash was originally built, it was built on the condition to not afflict that the enemies should not afflict the Jews. Ulevasof, but at the end, kishechatu, when they sinned, nigzar aleim inui, utfilasam megina aleim and akilyon. So then there was affliction, but their prayers would stop them, would protect them from being completely destroyed. So that is the answer that Rav Huna went ahead in this contradiction between la'anoso and lechaloso. Originally, the issue was la'anoso. In the end, they were davening to be protected from lechaloso, from being totally destroyed. V'omar, 2 dots here near the bottom of the page. V'omar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Another statement from Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Gedola shimusha shal Torah yoser milimuda. We can find that it is greater to serve Torah than to learn Torah. Shenamar, like it says in the pasuk. Po Elisha ben Shafat asher yutzak mayim al yedei Eliyahu. It says that Elisha poured water on the hands of Eliyahu. Lomad lo nemar. It doesn't say that he learned from Eliyahu. Eliyatzak, he poured. Malamed, you see from here, shagadola shimusha yoser milimuda, that the serving of Torah is greater than the learning of Torah. Amar le Rabbi Yitzchak le Rav Nachman. Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rav Nachman, my time loasi mar levei kanishta. Why didn't the master come to the Beis HaKnesses? Let's luye to daven. Rabbi Yitzchak was asking Rav Nachman, why didn't you come to shul to daven? Amar le lo yechilna. He said, I wasn't able to. Amar le, he said, lechanfi lamar asara v'litzli. So why don't you gather 10 people and daven at home? Amar le, he said, trichali milsa. That was a difficult bother for me to be able to put that together. V'lei malei mar l'shlucha de tzibura be'idna dematz le'tzibura le'si v'lo de lamar. So then he made another suggestion. Why didn't the masters tell the shliach tzibur that at the time that the congregation was davening, they should let him know, and then you could at least daven at the same time as the tzibur. Amar le said to my kuli hai, what to go to such an extent that you have to find out exactly when and daven at the same time? Why is this an important thing? Amar le, he said to him, Amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan said in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. We'll see on the next page what he said that's relevant to this issue. That is the end of Daf Zayin Amud Beis and Maseches Brachos, Brachos Daf 7a. We will continue with this question and answer in the next video.